Hi guys, this is Klazart bringing you another audio commentary, and this time I'm commentating on the Proleague matchup played yesterday between CJ Entus and Korean Air Force Ace. This is set 2, and this is going to be played between Savior and Anytime on Outsider. Boy, it's been a long time since we've seen Savior in the Pro League. I believe, unless I'm mistaken, that the last time I saw Savior in the Pro League was actually versus Anytime, and it was on this map, and Anytime received a horrendous beatdown and was made to look like a very average player. I could be wrong. It could have been, perhaps it was Jaedong versus Anytime, but definitely it was a Zerg versus Protoss, and I'm pretty sure Anytime featured in that, and he was just made to look very average. But the stats on this map do go 8 to 10 as of when this game was played on Outsider. But it seems to have turned out to be a fairly balanced map, and it'll be interesting to see how these two veterans of the game feature in this. It's interesting to me also to note that Savior now is finally playing in the Pro League for his team after a long time. I guess he probably requested from his coach that he shouldn't play because he would rather practice for the MSL. Speaking of the MSL, I do have something to get straight, set the record straight. I was under the mistaken impression that they changed the structure of the MSL round of 32, where if you lost your first game, that was it, you were out, which obviously would be ridiculous, and is ridiculous, and isn't the case. It's just they've changed the structure so that now the losers match and the losers finals are played on a separate day, and so it's still the same double elimination format that we had previously. Savior looks like he's gone for an overpool build here, so it'll be interesting to see how this works out. I'm not sure I like the new format. It's a nervous wait for fans and for the players, although it does allow players more preparation time. Personally, I like the way they had it before, where you had to have the skills. You couldn't just go and prepare for every single matchup, and I think that was probably a better test of overall skill. But we'll see how this new format works. So Savior just sending his drone out, and you can see how little things make a difference in StarCraft, and how luck does play a part. Anytime, for example, there sent his probe in the correct direction to scout. Had he scouted in the wrong direction initially, he wouldn't have gotten that probe up there in time. Savior bringing another drone out to try and block that probe up from getting up the ramp, unable to do so. But yeah, and Savior looks like he's sending a drone out to scout as well. But yeah, if Anytime had scouted incorrectly, he wouldn't have been able to delay Savior getting that natural expo down, and perhaps even potentially have been blocked with the scout. Savior though has gone for a fairly safe build. The overpool build, I think, has a lot of flexibility. You can choose to, if you get a scout on an opponent and see that they're pushing early, you can try and get some Zerglings out. You can defend, you can tech, and you can also not fall behind in terms of his economy. Savior now just using that drone to scout out, make sure Anytime isn't trying to sneak an expansion, a quick expansion somewhere, and make sure that Anytime doesn't get some hidden economic advantage. Savior's produced his first 6 lings out, just chasing that probe around in his base, and again, it'll be interesting to see. We saw some tremendous Zerg versus Protoss StarCraft recently. If you guys haven't seen Jaedong versus NC Yellow versus Bisu, which I'm sure most of you have seen by now, you should see that. Savior with the gas seal on Anytime's main, and that's going to be annoying. Anytime's only got the one Zealot out as well, and Savior's sending his Zerglings in, so he's going to get some real harass down. Meanwhile, he's put his second expansion down at the 12 o'clock position, and just for those of you guys who are unfamiliar with these players, Anytime, obviously the Protoss player at the end, Savior's Extractor is up at Anytime's base. That is going to be really irritating. Anytime, Savior also taking a probe down, complete harassment. Last time, Savior made Anytime look amateurish on this map, and I believe it was Savior versus Anytime. Savior continuing to harass Anytime with the Zerglings. Anytime managing to take out the Extractor in his main. I think he used probes to take it out, and now a couple of Zealots just ferrying those Zerglings away, but that's going to hurt Anytime. He's going to be so far behind in his tech now, finally starting up that assimilator. Managed to get another probe up in Savior's ramp though to scout his main, which I'm sure Savior's not too happy about himself, but Savior meanwhile has got his own Extractor up, mining gas from it. But yeah, Savior's probably going to be pretty satisfied with the way this game has gone so far. And yeah, again, I just want to set the record straight on the MSL, just to clarify again, the players who lost will get to play again, will get to feature again in a losers matchup and losers final, and I will be hopefully commentating on some of those. There's some games tomorrow featuring none other than Bisu versus Free, and that's, I think it's an all Protoss group, so and it features Jiangbi as well, so that should be interesting. Bisu's going to take on Free, and the winner of that will face up against Jiangbi, and I believe Huashin is also featuring in tomorrow's games. This game that I'm commentating on right now was actually just played yesterday. Savior now with a group of about 6 Zerglings just heading out to do a little bit more harassment. Anytime he's now got 4 Zealots out, and only now his Cybernetics core is coming up. He did have that expansion up, he did put that expansion up fairly early on, but that's what gave Savior the opportunity. Savior saw that Anytime had left the assimilator a little bit late, and I can't remember the last time I've seen a Zerg do a gas deal on a Protoss player, but I gotta tell you, that's gotta cripple a Protoss player going for that kind of 2-base build. Anytime now starting up his Stargate as well, but Saviour's lair, I would say, almost finished, and I'm sure Saviour's going to have that Spire up in time to deal with his opponent's Seer harass by the time it arrives, although lair's still not finished. Stargate almost finished for Anytime. Anytime has been, again, I was talking about the Korean Air Force team and the merits of it, and you know, a lot of players, when they join the Korean Air Force team, you feel that it's kind of their twilight, but to me, it's kind of like a second win for the players. It's almost like their swan song. You know the song that Swan sings, "It is so beautiful because it's gonna die soon." Savior with the higher descent first before Spire, just to make sure he deals with those Seers and doesn't lose any Overlords and get his timings messed up because of it. But yeah, it gives players a last chance to just get a little bit of glory, show some great StarCraft, because I don't think we've seen a player go and join the Korean Air Force, play in the Air Force team, and then come back and play for their Pro League team again. They just don't seem to be able to get back up to that standard. But because the Air Force team is essentially players who are ending who are approaching the end of their careers, it